You're Kathryn Enix, and it's May the 20th, 2014, and we'll just start over, okay?
Okay.
Okay. When and where were you born?
Kingfisher.
Kingfisher.
And to be honest, I never heard my mother say it, but I think it might, since there were 4 kids and 3 of us were born, I think really the doctor had probably had a small hospital already.
And you were born in 1912, October the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And your parents, what did your mother do?
Well, to begin with, we took care of 4 babies and candled all the stuff and really worked in the garden. But then later, she started working in the bank too, so they both were a couple, and that's how come they ended up, instead of working at Kingfisher, they bought out the little bank at Omega. And it was there isn't a bank now, but there was one.
So your mother canned a lot?
Huh?
Your mother canned a lot?
Yeah, and like I say, there were 3 girls, and of course the baby was still young, but really we always helped too with cannonball stuff. For the fair, we had a county fair, a town fair and a county fair, a state fair, and we entered stuff.
So you were in 4-H?
Huh?
You were in 4-H?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Where did you go to elementary school?
I think at Omega.
And then high school?
Kingfisher, graduated from Kingfisher.
At what year?
1929.
Okay. And then what did you do?
I went to school in Missouri.
That's a long way from home.
Yeah, they got a scholarship. And 3 of us, 2 sisters and I, 3 of us went up there. So,
What was your major?
probably back in those days, we used the word education.
And then how long did you stay there?
1 year, then went to OU.
Oh, and so you graduated from OU?
Yes.
What year?
One summer, I don't know, 29, but actually, it was during the Depression, and they came out, they didn't have any graduation exercises, and it really, but it came out in the paper who graduated, but they didn't have any big program like they do,
Where did you live while you were there?
Oh man. I guess part of the time in what would have been called the dorm, however, for me it was just a house.
And after you graduated, what did you do?
Well, I had to do substitute teaching for a while. Then I got a job as a school teacher at Omega, and from there to Hennessey. So then,
Were they small schools?
well, Omega was, but Hennessey was already a pretty good school.
Was it? So you were in college during the Depression. What else do you remember about the Depression?
Oh, one thing that we all got hurt from, they slowed down on the county fair because we were all used to entering stuff, sewing and quilting and cooking and canning at the county fair. And seemed like they kind of did away with it for a while. They might have had it, but it's on a very small level.
We should have worked at the bank.
Did you ever work at the bank?
Yeah, that every night after school. Yeah,
What did you do?
posting machine
Added numbers?
and a typewriter. But we learned all those things. The four of us kids, we learned all that.
So it really was a family-run bank.
Really was.
In what town was that?
What town was the bank in? Kingfisher?
Well, to begin with, it was Old
Oh,
Newcastle.
my God.
And then, I think we worked part-time at Kingfisher, but I think the bank actually Hennessey. I couldn't be mistaken, but I think I'm right.
What was the house like that you grew up in?
Oh, it was nice. But I do say so. Compared to other kids, we had nice furniture because we refinished it and repaired stuff. Where I know a lot of girlfriends, if a leg got broken on something, they threw it away. Where with us, either Papa or brother would repair, you know.
Did you have running water in the house?
As far as I know,
And electricity?
I'm sure we did. I don't remember having hot water. We could have had, but I'm not sure.
A refrigerator?
Yeah.
Or an ice box?
Huh?
Or an ice box?
Well, we might have started out with the ice box, but it seemed like it wasn't very long till we had a thing called a refrigerator. So,
Did you have a car?
huh?
Did the family have a car?
Yeah. In fact, most of the time we had a car and a pickup because my brother was getting up 17 and 18 and he wanted to go and he had a job doing something all the time. He either repaired people's yards or he went out and did farm work like equal plowing or lifting or something. Farm work.
What were holidays like?
Oh, pretty much the same, except lots of time on 4th of July, a band would play downtown. So,
Did Hennessey have a movie theater?
not that I know of for years, but before Ortman put in, someone had tried, they had a movie, but it was just open now and then. So I don't know who owned it, but it seemed like they kind of had trouble making ends meet.
Well, were you married?
Yeah, 'cause I didn't get married till about 23, and that was old compared to, because me and my girlfriends got married at 15, you know.
Well, how did you meet your husband?
Probably football games, maybe. It's the nearest thing.
And so when did you get married? What
Or
year?
not till and
35,
they was right up in the paper, and I never did ever get a copy of it. They just said they heard a Hennessey girl had married, and said she was a graduate of OU, and I'd like to have a copy of it. But back in those days, you couldn't jump in your car and go there and get what you wanted back.
What paper though? The Hennessey paper or the Oklahoman?
Well, the Kingfisher put a
Kingfisher.
paper out better. And as a rule, something would be in the Hennessey and Kingfisher papers to them.
What was his name? What was his name?
My husband's name,
Mm-hmm.
his last name was, they called it Enix, but it's E-N-I-S-E. So that must be a foreign way of pronouncing it, because they always pronounce it like it's N-I-C-K. Yeah. So,
And his first name?
well, I think we usually said Lewis, but it's just L-O-U.
Lou. Did you go on a honeymoon?
Oh, if we did, it couldn't have been more than 2 days. I don't think we did.
And you have children?
No,
No.
I just never did get pregnant, and we were going to adopt one after we were married several years. And then later he took ill, and he was out here for like about 2 years. And so I had to keep working to pay for his expense. So it cost me quite a bit to physically and mentally to work and keep them in here.
So what was your maiden name?
G-U-L-K-E-R, Gulker. G-U-L-K-E-R. My dad was a banker at Omega, and then later at maybe the Kingfisher for a while, but later Hennessey.
Had they moved here from somewhere else?
I think Dad's people had been farmers for a year around Loyal.
Okay.
And as far as she had folks that were considered themselves English. Maybe they'd been over several generations from England.
How long did you teach school?
Oh, yeah. Probably a couple of years at Omega, and then I went to Geary. And I didn't teach long enough to get a life salary, like a lot of them did. But by the time I was going to school, I was working part-time at the bank, and so in time I worked full-time at the bank.
And what did you do for fun?
Very little, practically nothing. No. Of course, football and a big thing, and the basketball was. We might go to a basketball game, you know, 1 or 2 nights a month, not every week. But we really had a good life.
Was church a part of that?
Huh?
Was church a part of that?
Yeah, and I got a little mix. My folks were always Methodist. Then, after I got away from home, the crowd that I went with the, it wasn't called Colonial. What was it? I can't think of it right now. But it wasn't a Catholic, it wasn't Advent. It was still a Christian. I think it was just called Christian Church, where ours had originally been called Methodist. And I think that was it. And the new one was called Christian. I think they probably all looked alike. So,
How about music?
well, we had a piano teacher come in from Canton, I believe, and she gave piano lessons, and I took, and then I took some lessons at college, and at one time I had 33 piano students, so that's how I made my living. They could charge 50 cents per hour, probably more than an hour.
Well, did you go to dances? Did you go to dances?
Go to dancing? No, if I did, it wouldn't have been more than once a year or something.
Well, what did you do for Christmas?
Oh, I think I really just went home and the grandparents came and especially I had a brother and there were 3 girls and I was a middle girl. So, but the baby girl married someone and the whole family moved to California. So even though she's dead now, her children and grandchildren all live in California. And we really don't know them because they never did get back. And so.
Have any of them lived to be 100?
If they have, I don't know.
You're the only one?
Well, that I know of, but I'm sure there's some have, you know. But I never smoked and I never drank. And so that's 2 things I think that made me halfway healthy, was not smoking and not drinking.
So that's your secret to living so long?
Yeah, being good. Go to church. I guess you could say no drinking, no smoking, go to church, and go to school. So that would keep you pretty busy.
Well, what keeps you busy today?
What keeps me busy?
Today?
putting clothes on. Oh, dear President, I'm busy here now, and much like surprised, they put these curtains up and divide us. So my bed's here and her bed's over there. So we just here, you might say, temporarily.
Do you read very much?
Uh,
Do you read?
well, I get newspaper and I get the Hennessey paper comes out on Thursday, and the Kingfisher paper every day, and Oklahoma City. So I've always read the newspapers pretty good.
When you were younger, did you make your own clothes?
Did I know? No, but in for the club work we did, and mostly if I made something, which I didn't this, it was things I made for the club.
Did you ever go to Oklahoma State for a roundup?
Well, that'd be Stillwater, but I don't know why we stuck to OU better than we did Stillwater. I'll be honest. But I don't know, just seemed like people we knew went to OU, and the kids that grew up on a farm, as a rule, they went to Stillwater. So, but I think they're both good schools.
Did you have a scholarship to OU?
Not that I know of. I don't think so, honey.
Just to Missouri?
I don't think so.
Do you have a philosophy?
Well, I want to finish my education and teach more or less to pay back what I had to spend. And so then I taught for several years, and I'm back here just on a visit with a single bed, no room.
Did you get to travel any?
I've been to Europe twice. I've been every 30 states. I've been every state. Every state. Been to Europe twice. And one trip got to go down into Africa and back up. So probably I've been more than the average person.
What was your favorite?
As countries, oh, it'd be hard to decide, honey.
What about states? What was your favorite state?
Oh, of course, the most advanced one really was California, because their yards and their flowers were in Oklahoma. We were just cultivating our ground. But I've had a good life, really. And to me, girls, some of my girlfriends got married when they were like 15 or 16, and sometimes they had a baby within a year, or sometimes they did go back to school, maybe had 2 or 3 children then later. But we wanted a child, but I never did get pregnant. And we thought about adopting one, and we never did get it done. So, and now, everything I had, that I guess really be called a dog. That's from some of the girls in the bank. I worked in the bank, so when I quit, they said, "Oh, Kathryn, we want to give you something to remember us." So that dog is supposed to remind me of working in the bank.
And what year did you retire?
Oh, I haven't ever retired.
What's your secret to longevity?
Oh, no smoking, church, no cussing. Probably other things too.
Did you ever think you'd make it to 100?
Did you ever think you would make it to 100?
Oh, yeah, really. Because I have girlfriends that die, young, but maybe they've been out all night on a party and been drinking. So,
What did you do for your 100th birthday party?
I don't think I did anything. I don't think.
Now, when history is written, what do you want it to say about you?
What did you say?
When history is written, what do you want it to say about you?
Encourage everyone to go to school and cut out smoking and drinking. And staying all night with a boyfriend. I know a lot of girls, that's where they got hooked up and then they got pregnant and they had to quit college and so.
So, education was an important part of your life.
I would say probably outside of home life, I'd say education. Because my folks encouraged us to all go to school. Our dad was a banker, then later Mother went in the bank also, so they both were bankers.
Did your husband serve in the war?
He was in service, but he never did hit the battlefield. He was in Europe away from me for a long time, and he was aboard a train that carried medical supplies to the troops in Europe. So really, he was a pharmacist on a train for the troops, really. So,
Did he send you letters?
sometime I wouldn't hear from him for quite a while. So,
Well, when he came back, what did he do for a living?
well, as he got a job in a drugstore,
Okay.
and I've been teaching piano. I had 33 piano pupils, so I probably kept one of my piano kids.
Did you ever have any accidents in your lifetime?
Did you have any accidents in your lifetime?
Yeah, I about lost this leg and this arm. They thought they were going to have to cut my leg off and my arm. I was in the hospital 71 days on account of this leg. 71 days. It used to be dark. Is it dark over there?
A little.
Huh?
Just a little bit.
Is it dark?
Was that a car accident or a fall?
Car accident.
And how old were you?
I was with my sister and her husband. They were in the front seat going, and I was riding in the back seat. And we had a car wreck. They weren't hurt. They didn't even have a scratch on them. I ended up 71 days in the hospital. 'Cause they were scared they were going to have to lose my leg and my arm.
How old were you?
Oh, I doubt it. Probably 22 or something.
Before you got married?
So I was lucky I got out. And,
Do you remember your first television?
huh?
Do you remember your first television?
No, really. No. I remember later going places and they'd have a TV on, you know.
Did you ever go to the circus?
Huh?
Did you go to the circus?
Oh, it wasn't a big thing in my life. I doubt if I went more than once in 2 years. Now,
Bucket
I didn't know I had so much betting.
Is there anything left on your list that you want to do?
Oh, I have a home in this town, but I can't stand up to cook. And so I didn't want a maid or a man to live with me, but I really need to live where they serve meals. So that's why I eat my meals here. So,
If you could go back to Europe, where would you go?
If you could go back to Europe, where would you go?
oh, probably France more than I had French language. I'd probably go back to France more. I don't think my grandfather came from Germany. I think my great-grandfather did. Seems like it was my dad's grandfather came from Germany. But I don't think, he was dead by the time I got up, so. But I've had a good life, really.
Typical day.
Typical day. Yeah.
What do you do in a typical day? What time do you get up and what time do you go to bed? And
Well, as a rule, I'm not cooped up in a frame like this. I have my own home, but I can't live there without someone. 'Cause why? I got to eat, and so I don't have to live where they serve a meal. So that's how come
I don't know where my
I
door
sleep here and eat.
Oh, there.
what time do you go to bed?
Oh, it depends on whether there's a football game or some plays on. But as a rule, I'd say 10 o'clock.
And then get up?
What time I get up? Oh, probably 7, 7:30. But
Oh,
you have some more you want to ask me?
Do you want some more? You have something else you want to ask him?
Does he have more he want to ask me?
He's thinking. He's thinking.
Oh, okay.
Do you have something more you want to tell us?
Uh,
Do you have something more you want to tell us?
oh. I've had a good life, and I would almost credit it with no smoking, no drinking. Those are probably the main ones, and probably living a clean life as far as not cussing and staying out late at night and frowsing around. So, really, I wouldn't say I'm not a preacher, but I would say I've had a good life though. And for years I played the piano or organ in a church. I think once I was 4 years. So whenever they needed me, I filled in. And you didn't get paid for it. That was all free work. So,
Did you have a favorite song?
oh, I don't think so, honey. Every now and then I'll hear one on TV and I think, oh, man, they sang that so many times, but really, a favorite, I don't. As a rule, my bed is shoved clear against the wall. Usually it's out like that, away from my drape. They should both hang independent of the bed, so the bed should be pulled out. Now, who's over there now? No, I meant
On
in
the other
bed.
end. I don't know if did she
No.
leave or she's still.
Not the boy, but the girl who sleeps there.
I don't know.
What's her name?
I'm not sure.
Seems like it's a Betty. I'm not sure.
Anything else? All righty. If you don't have anything else, we'll let you rest.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you very much.
Okay.
It's a pleasure.
But I really could say I had an interesting life and a good life. I had good parents. They told us not to crowd around and not drink. And so I think they were, I don't like to brag on them, but I think we had better parents than a lot of them, because some girls and boys we knew, they go home Saturday night, their dad was drunk or something. So I think we had a better family, you know. Just, so good luck to you, honey.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.